Today's video is focusing on the brand new REDMAGIC 11 Air. This is a brand new device from REDMAGIC that's bringing in some of the main benefits of the Pro series in a more affordable bundle, essentially under the Air series. Still featuring a Snapdragon processor as one of the best processors from last year. And of course, large display, under display camera, triggers on the side, large battery, fast charging, pass-through charging, all of the things that we've come to love about REDMAGIC and their gaming devices, of course, refreshed for 2026. This is TK and this is the REDMAGIC 11 Air. Let's check it out and see what makes it so special. Like and subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon so you're always notified whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. This is the bundle that you get. You get the box itself, obviously. It has the REDMAGIC Air. This is the 11 Air, just released in 2026. Obviously, the device itself, there's a couple of colors available for you. There is a clear case with a nice little diffuser built into it for grip as well as actually design. And of course, they include the USB-C to C cable, still the REDMAGIC red color that we've come to love, and of course, a charger in the box to be able to provide us that 80-watt charging. The device comes with a 7,000 milliampere battery that is built in here, no wireless charging. We have a 50 megapixel primary sensor, an 8 megapixel, basically an ultra-wide sensor on the side, a 16 megapixel under display camera. Let's go ahead and turn it on. You could definitely not see it, and they definitely get it a lot better with that camera. Beautiful large 6.85 inch AMOLED display at 1.5K resolution. It goes all the way up to 144 Hertz, as you can see here next to the time. Now, peak brightness up to 1800 nits, of course, utilizing under display technology for the camera. When we turn it on, and of course, turn it on the forward, you can definitely see that the camera is positioned right ever so gently right there. But it is absolutely under display and it is very well hidden. It does not show up. It does not take away anything from the experience. Gaming, watching content using this device, you're always going to be enjoying a full display. Now, looking as far as the triggers, we have a power button, one of the microphones, a volume rocker, the exhaust fan. We do have a built-in fan in here. This actually is not a camera. This is a sensor. Well, this essentially is the fan system that we have. We have two triggers positioned on the right and left that you're able to customize. Moving on the left side, we no longer have a switch where we're actually able to move it. It's actually a button now that you press and hold to be able to activate the gaming system as opposed to using the standard UI mode. On the bottom, we have a dual SIM tray configuration for basically connectivity, obviously compatible with the US market, USB-C, of course, and the bottom firing speaker married to the top one to be able to give us stereo speakers. As you can see, we have that at the top. Again, beautiful display, very nice. It is not an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Unfortunately, it is an optical sensor, but it is definitely very nice. Android 16 out of the box, built-in Android, of course, with Google Play services. We can see Android 16 built in here, the REDMAGIC 11 Air, 16 gigabytes of RAM, plus 12 built in from the storage, up to 512 gigs of internal storage, of course. It is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite mobile platform, of course, 2688 by 1216 for the resolution, and that 7,000 milliampere built-in battery, which means long battery life, of course, not just for gaming, but also the ability of using the pass-through functionality so that we can actually game for even longer when we wire connect our device directly into the charger and use our device without, taxing the battery or generating heat from it. Now, when we look at this device, the first thing you'll probably notice right out of the box, we talked about the fact that this has a fan. It's a built-in fan, an exhaust fan that allows us to cool the system. This is something that we're bringing in again from the Pro series. We have the pulsating, basically RGB, customizable RGB, and we have obviously the triggers that are positioned here on the top right and left. One of the things you can do, obviously, is activate the actual fan, turn it on. There's a little bit of a sound that you're able to activate, kind of like a car rumbling or an engine rumbling noise here that you're able to activate in there. You're able to run it in basically more of a silent mode or obviously ice mode, which essentially just cools the system to the fullest. One thing you can also do is activate the gaming mode. That's going to be activated with the button here on the left side. Press and hold it. And as you can see here, it takes you straight into the gaming UI. Let's go ahead and lower the volume just a little bit. The gaming UI is very much a very customizable experience. There is Super Bass in here. You can go in there, customize. There are accessories that you're able to pick up. As you can see here, the different customization options. You're able to go in. I have Genshin Impact. I have Geekbench 6 installed purely because of the benchmark. We'll talk about the numbers. PUBG Mobile, of course, as well as Call of Duty Mobile. You're able to customize the experience. We'll go here, PUBG Mobile. You can go in there. You can customize by going, the game controller, the mouse and keyboard, X screen casting if you want to be able to do that, or just jump in and turn on the game itself. You're also able to change the different experiences here. Let's go ahead and turn it on here. You notice right there, that activates the fan right out of the box. Although just for reference, when you are in a game, there is a separate game UI as well that launches with it. That actually isn't required for you to be in the game system. So if let's say I'm going in here and I launch the game directly out of my folder, it'll automatically recognize it because it was already part of the gaming system already. It recognizes it and activates the gaming mode automatically for us. Before we go too far, obviously we're going to talk about the performance and what this device can do. This is running the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So this is going to be running at 2904 single core, 9533. Again, this is with performance mode turned on, or Rise mode as it is actually called, directly within the gaming system. And you're able to go in there. And you'll notice here that the actual menu on the top here is basically just referencing system information. This was not a game, so it wasn't running any kind of FPS stuff. But again, a good reference point. Now, when it comes down to connectivity, although I did technically get a text message from T-Mobile saying that this device is not fully compatible with my network, most of the time that doesn't really apply because I was able to run this and I was able to get 5G connectivity on this device directly, and as well as the ability of getting 234 down and 34.4 up. Again, depending on where you are, make sure you check the bands on this device before you pick it up, but it's nice to see that it is compatible and it is optimized for the US market. Now, when it comes down to the camera experience, we have obviously photo mode, portrait mode, there's the camera family, the different scenarios you're able to use there, video and pro. Now, one thing under the video, just keep in mind, you're able to go all the way up to 8K 30 frames per second. We also have 4K 60 frames per second as the maximum resolution for 4K. Switching it over to the front-facing camera, it's going to be basically a 1080p, and I think that's not even at 60 frames per second. So one of the downsides of having an under-display camera, in the fact that you could see here now it goes away, it's the fact that overall it is having to go through the display, so the resolution sometimes and even the images come out a little bit softer. But most people are not going to be getting this device purely for the camera experience, but they're definitely going to enjoy it. We're going to definitely get a chance to check out some images from this device. Okay, we're going to start off with the front-facing camera on the 11 Air. One of the things you keep in mind, obviously, it's an under-display camera. As you're noticing, there's a little bit of a halo effect going on and a little bit more of a beauty mode, kind of almost turned on. But that's primarily because the camera itself is under the display, and it's having to go through the display, the primary area of the display, for it to be able to capture the content on the front. So I think primarily the main sensors on the back are going to be your best performers, but this is not a bad deal. Overall, again, good audio and video sample from the front-facing camera. Let's switch over to the main sensor on the back. Now, the primary sensor on the back, the only one is going to be able to provide us 4K 60 frames per second. We do technically have two sensors, but the main benefit here is that the best experience is going to be up to 8K 30 frames per second using the main sensor on the back, and 4K 60, which I really, really appreciate. So for the most part, if you're going to be taking content, recording content, taking pictures and anything like that, make sure you focus on the main sensor on the back, and that should give you the best experience on the brand new REDMAGIC 11 Air. Let's go ahead and play our favorite song, Alex Quindo Jumbo by NCS Release. Jack it up. Okay, so one thing I'll probably say is this definitely gets loud enough to the point where it almost becomes too loud. I had to lower it a little bit just because of the initial burst of sound that we got in there. It does sound pretty decent, not as bassy on the high end. It's definitely maybe a little bit less bassy, but you're definitely going to be enjoying content on this, listening to the speakers, music, watching content, or even playing games. There's not going to be any issues with getting this. And of course, as long as you hold it with your hands like this, the sound will basically kind of almost bounce off your palms, getting over to you. And of course, having the triggers up for us here alleviates for us the functionality of having our, the claw effect on the display. It releases some of that. You can actually use it. And now we can actually keep our device and most of the display unencumbered by our fingers. To launch a game, there's two ways of doing it. You can either launch it directly from the gaming, from your folder, just application launch directly, or again, best experience ever. Turning it on, you have access directly into the UI. Let's go ahead and lower it here. We're going to jump into Call of Duty Mobile. You'll notice right out of the box, it actually starts optimizing the system to give us the best experience. So the launch, I have the system information positioned at the top. I already had that activated from before. Swiping from the left side or even on the right side, you'll see here you're able to activate the display or the information here, the fan, the hertz as far as the different experiences you're able to. Screen recording, bypass as well is also built in here, also controller support as well. You're able to change between the three different modes, Eco mode, Balance mode, or Rise mode, to give you the best experience. And of course, you can also kind of customize the different triggers in here. So you can activate them on, and you can basically position them to where you want them in the game. So basically, let's go ahead and put this here. I'll just move it down here. Although you should do this definitely when you're in the game. But you can see here, as I'm touching it, it actually activates the triggers of where they are. So it's virtual keypads, easy to customize, no need to have to download any separate software or anything. It just automatically gets customized. So you can actually have it configured to basically aim and fire here, so you don't have to keep using tills and just use your fingers for navigation, and it makes it a lot better than to do the claw effect when you're playing games. This device doesn't hold anything back when it comes down to the horsepower and the sheer performance we're able to get here. Now, obviously, this is not running the latest version of the Snapdragon processor from Qualcomm. This is obviously last year's, basically the last year's flagship. but I love the fact that they're sticking to flagship experiences, although probably saving us a little bit since we're leveraging last year's processor to give us some of the best gaming experiences. Again, up to 144 hertz refresh rate on this is absolutely fantastic. And of course, not everything is going to go there, but the fact that we're able to play 120 hertz consistently, also in Genshin Impact, consistently staying at 60 frames per second with the highest quality settings turned on, as well as having the fan turned on. And again, keep in mind, you're able to use basically charge bypass, which allows you to actually use a power cable to actually play games or use the device without charging the battery, reducing the amount of heat that it generates, also providing you a cooler experience. In my gaming sessions and in my experience using this device, it didn't actually overheat at all. The temperature stayed well within range. I love the fact that we have the triggers on here. And of course, I used it a little bit more with Genshin Impact. Call of Duty Mobile, it also definitely, you can customize it there, PUBG Mobile. There are other accessories that REDMAGIC does have. Unfortunately, I did not get any of those with this device, so I'm not able to share with you guys my experiences. But they've not only perfected the gaming experience, having the separate launcher for the gaming experience, and of course, having the standard UI launcher. The under-display camera actually works pretty well as you're looking at some of the image samples that I'm sharing with you guys right there. Overall, I think what I'm expecting out of this device is a great gaming experience, and they delivered there. Great battery life with the 7,000 milliampere, a charger that's included in the box, and also the ability to play in games for an extended amount of time without actually, either using the battery or charging the battery, which makes it even longer. So it means you can charge up your phone, plug it in, use bypass, play for, let's say, 2-3 hours, get off the charger, and it still has basically about 7,000 milliamperes left for you to continue usage of this device. In general, day-to-day usage, performance is absolutely fantastic. You're going to get some of the best experiences from both REDMAGIC and Qualcomm. There's no question there. The RAM and storage configurations are one of the fastest, and I love the fact that we also have the ability of going in there and basically doing screen projection as well from the gaming system. It's no longer a switch, it's actually a button, so there's a little bit of a different aesthetic there, but we have the fan, we have the RGB, we have the triggers, we have the large, beautiful display, 144 hertz, massive battery, great performance, great storage and RAM configurations. This device will definitely outperform your expectations when it comes down to a gaming experience. Now, photography, I'll probably say that although we're able to shoot at 8K and 4K and 4K 60 as well as the main sensors on the back, that's primarily where it's going to be the best experience for you. The front-facing sensor definitely works well, and I like the fact that they go with the under display. And even though I'm not able to get maybe the same performance as the main sensors on the back, I appreciate the fact that it no longer becomes a punch hole camera or a teardrop or some kind of accommodation. It basically just becomes a full-blown display that you can enjoy from edge to edge, as well as having triggers, which allows us not to have our fingers on it. So a lot of good combinations, a lot of good things going on from REDMAGIC. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the brand new REDMAGIC 11 Air? Is this something that you guys would consider getting as your next gaming device? I think overall it's a great bundle, great pricing, and of course great availability. At least in the US, it works great on US carriers. T-Mobile is what I tested it with, but it is unlocked and it was intended to be sold in the US market. So I would expect compatibility there for most carriers, but again, double check them at the end of the day. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much for the support. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.